Hey, it's E with Reality, and welcome to my channel. We will talk all things reality TV and hot topics. Before we can get into this video, can we make sure we are subscribing to my channel and liking up the video? Thank you. Now let's get into it. We are going to talk about Love Island USA, Season 8, Episode 7. We pick up where we left off. You have Zach telling Sincere that man, the reactions when you could clearly tell that she was being overly hyped for Kenzie and not for herself. I'm really having mixed feelings about these people this episode. It just had me scratching my head because I'm like, everyone is too focused on being with someone after 1 week. I mean, I get it. Sincere being upset that Mel was going between him and Corbin because he had to watch it. But you literally had just got finished locking lips with two bombshells, plus any of the other girls that were testing it out to see if you were their partner. I just hate that the people are already in the mindset of being so coupled down after 1 week. Everyone should still be exploring, and I just felt like everyone was just so emotional this episode after the challenge. It's like people feeling like you can't be, it's like it's a challenge that we watch it. So the challenges are part of things, and you're going to get kisses and you're going to get things that you really don't like. But I do think there's a difference between, like we've seen over many seasons before, where people only do certain things and challenges, and then they are respecting their couple outside of the challenge, because the challenge is something that you participate in. You do not have to be out here kissing on everybody when you're just out here chatting. But I digress. So you even have, I mean, it even got to the point where Kata is even trying to tell Sincere, like, hey, she was doing that because of Mackenzie. I was like, I could even tell from watching the episode that it wasn't for herself, because she kept looking at Kenzie. Because it seems like her and Kenzie may be pretty close. So I'm sure that they've had these conversations about what her type is. So she was just overly hyped for her friend. I do understand the kissing back and forth, but again, she was playing the game. She was blindfolded, so she wanted to test it out. She hadn't kissed that boy since the challenge before. So he was just he was just in his feels. So then you have Trinity telling the ladies, well, Bryce knows the bombshell. So they're like, what? So yeah. So she's gonna try to have to figure out. She wants to figure out, how does he know the bombshell? Um, you have Kata. Excuse me. You have Kata telling Mel about Sincere and what he said. And like she said, I was just hyping up Kenzie because I knew he was her type, which again, that's what I felt like when I watched it. It did not feel like he was her type at all. So, but I also felt like the men kind of played into that as well, because all the other men are like, oh, like she's da da da. And it's like, maybe that's how she hypes up her girlfriends. You don't know, but whatever. The girls sit down to talk with the boys, and the boy and Caleb sits down and talk with the girls. Um, when the girls are talking to the bombshells, when they're talking to the guys, of course they ask, are any of the guys like open to getting to know anyone else? And um, Zach immediately says that He's basically good where he's at. Maybe he got uh Kata and he good. He basically closed off. I had to scratch my head because I said, well, when they had this conversation, when did she agree that she was closed off with you? Or is this just something that you agreed upon yourself? Because I don't ever, unless that was the scene that was deleted or something, that we never saw that. So for you to be sitting up here talking about you're closed off and you ain't even had this conversation with this girl, and I'm going to continue to go back to this point throughout this video that this is 1 week. We're 1 week. This is episode 7. And these people are acting like they have been together for years. So you have Sincere basically saying that, he's open to explore things and so on and so forth. Like I said, Caleb sits down with the girls and Kenzie's just seems to be very joyful. She's very giddy. She's so excited because it seems like this man is right up her alley. And that's what, look, her homegirls knew. Because that's what her homegirls had said. They said, this dude right here, this for my homegirl. I just said that, just watching this episode unfold, I was just like, the men are a few of the men, because not all of them, a few of the men were just very emotional. This episode, I mean, this challenge had them all in their fear, all in their feelings, and it was just, it was a bit much. Um, Again, we've been here months, and I mean, excuse me, no, they act like they've been there a month, but they haven't. They've only been there for a week, and the people is falling apart. Now you have Casey talking about that Soul is his type, or that she's a catch. Not necessarily, I don't think he said type, but she is a catch, and that she looks like she favors his ex. His ex did not have a pixie cut, but but he does think the pixie cut looks good on her. We have Anaya, she's emotional because Casey was joking around. She didn't think that it was funny, and she just didn't appreciate that. She wouldn't do that to him. And again, it's just everybody was just emotional after this challenge. This challenge and these bombshells brought the drama. I mean, I do understand her point of view of being a little bit nervous because, excuse me, it's more so their fault. They're not exploring each other. Everyone is pretty much coupled up, just like after the first coupling, after the first recoupling. You could literally sit there and be like, this person is picking this person is picking this person, because you knew it down to a T. So it's like you guys are not even exploring each other. So that's why you have put all your eggs in one basket. And if he does turn his head, you have nowhere to go because you're not actively out here trying to get to know other people. Now, again, if he was to find someone else and you couldn't find someone else, that just means he wasn't the person for you. But for you just to not be for these people to not be trying to get to know other people, is just crazy to me. So that's why I was just like so over the emotions this episode, of everybody just being overly upset about things that happened in a challenge. Because again, everything that happened in this episode was literally in the challenge. Nobody outside of Sincere was out here kissing anyone outside of Gabe, but he doesn't count because he tries to kiss everybody. So I just want my girl Naya to get in the game. I mean, because look what Trinity got going on. Trinity with somebody. We know she don't like that boy. She don't like him. He don't like her. They friends. But she out here trying to make a way. So we move on to Melanie and Sincere. They're talking. He's expressing how crazy it was for her to be screaming when the bombshell came in, and then kissing him and kissing Corbin, going back and forth. And she was basically trying to tell him like she didn't know it was Corbin because she was blindfolded. He was like, "That's crazy. I don't know how you couldn't have known," which I do kind of agree. She would have just been better off saying, "Dude, it was a challenge. It was just a challenge." Because you trying to say you didn't know, yeah, no. I mean, I do get that it wasn't like they were standing up. So they were sitting down, but he's much more muscular than um, Sincere. Not to say Sincere is not muscular because he has a nice body as well, but he's just not as big as what Corbin is. Um, he expresses about her screaming when the bombshell came in, and she was like, basically like, he's not even my type, but she seems to try to, understand where he's coming from, and she does apologize to him. She tells him that, she hasn't even really just tried to get to know anyone else outside of him. Um, but like I said, she does take some ownership in the fact in apologizing. But I'm not sure if he really thinks that her apology is sincere, because I think he said something along the lines of, "Don't apologize if you don't mean it," or something along those lines. So I don't know if he just felt like she was apologizing just to be apologizing. Um, but I just do need for them to be able to understand that when you're in a challenge, everyone is just free in a challenge. And just to play the challenge. I mean, because some of the challenges are a little, oof. You have Anaya and Casey. They go to the doc to have a conversation. She's super emotional. She's crying. And again, I'm scratching my head. He's trying to reassure her, that he's understanding. He does say that if Soul would like to chat, he doesn't mind chatting with her. Again, everyone is open and getting to know each other. She's saying that she really likes him and she could see some. I'm like, oh God, it's a week. It's 1 week. Lord, people, it's 1 week. Can we please explore? Let's take the time to get to know people. But I don't know. People just trying to lock it down. Um, so then you have Gabe, Pools, Soul, Forward Chat, and Soul Ties. And of course, what does Gabe want? A kiss. They have a little chit chat, da da da. But he wants a kiss. I don't think Soul like the kiss. So I'll say, yeah, that one for me. Yeah, he don't got to worry about me no more. Dude, I was dead. I was like, what in the world? She was not pleased with that kiss. We have Anaya talking to Sincere, and then you have Casey talking to Melanie. And they're both kind of just talking about each other's coupling and kind of how they're feeling at this time. And Casey, like, Mel is trying to tell him, like, I really didn't know it was Corbin. And he gives her the look like, girl, I do get that you was blindfold, but you can't tell me that you didn't know. That's why I said she would just been better off just saying it was a challenge. That's it. Opposed to trying to say you didn't know. You knew. Um, but I do understand again, like what Casey says, because it's tricky because it seems like everybody's trying to lock down. So you have a tricky situation because you don't want to be a robot, because it almost was feeling like Anaya was telling him like not to be him, like don't make these facial expressions and don't do this. But he's like, I don't want to be a robot. Like, I want to be able to enjoy myself, but also finding that respect as well. I'm like, right, it's a balance. But the only way that this works is that people have to explore other people to find their match. And again, I'm going to say this is a week. It's a week. I mean, that's it. It's a week. So now we have Zach. And I just have a headache from this conversation because I just felt like Zach was being very manipulative some kind of way with Kata, because last night you were the one that initiated to the bombshells that you were closed off. When you and Kata went to go talk later on yesterday evening, you are the one that told her what you told the bombshells, which were that you were closed off. I never even heard those words. Even when you said it to her, I didn't even hear the words come out of her mouth back to you. Like, she just said, "Oh, you said that." She didn't say, "Oh my God, yeah, we're closed off." So for you now to be having this conversation with her, like, because you're so upset because she wrapped her legs around someone. Okay. Again, after you just got finished kissing about 6, 7 people. But he's basically telling her that they don't need to be closed off. Again, I don't know where she agreed to be closed off, but that's pretty much what he's telling her, that they don't need to be closed off. It's only been a week. Hello, I keep saying that. Hello, hello. Is anybody home? It's only been a week. Can we work on getting it together? It's only been a week. And you're already closing yourself off. You're telling bombshells, which Kato is a bombshell, and you met her from her being a bombshell. But you're already telling the other people, the other bombshells, like, yeah, I'm good. Yep, I don't need to meet anybody else. Me and Kato, we good. But because you feel some type of way, you're telling her that um, you guys don't need to be closed off. Um, and you just feel like that maybe you close yourself off too quickly. And again, maybe they had this conversation and they just didn't show us, but I just never saw her agreeing to be closed off. I've always um, thought she said that you guys, that they were open. So I don't know. But he seems to be a little, Zach seems to be a little petty, a little tit for tat type thing, because you immediately told the girls you were closed off. Now you're saying you want to pull the girls, and she tells you, okay, well, she's gonna pull um the new guy as well. So so when he does pull the girl, you know, Kata is basically saying like she feels like he's just trying to piss her off, and she says that it feels like he's pulling away. And so she says if he's pulling away, then she's gonna pull away. I said, girl, pull, and say bye, bye, bye. Girl, you ain't got time for that. Girl, you super 80. Man, you got time for Zach. Tell Zach go back where he came from. So now we have Sincere pulling Soul for the chat. They go back and forth between the conversation that Sincere is having with Soul and that Melanie is having with the group in regards to her um, feeling like that. No, excuse me, her saying that, her experience basically with men hasn't been good. She hasn't experienced like good guys. And it feels like that Sincere is basically like a good guy, she thinks. And she's almost like, is this real? Meanwhile, across the villa, what's Sincere in there doing? Lip locking it down, slobber dobber dobbing. I was like, oh my, we didn't see Melanie out here kissing in these streets outside of a challenge. But baby, they was kissing, very passionate kisses, tongues and just all kinds of just so you know. I don't know. For me, I just be feeling like the kissing be too much. Baby, the kissing be too much. I can't do it. I don't even know you. How can I be kissing you with your ugh, it makes me want to just because it's too much. Like, I believe this was the first chat and they were slobbing like that. I can't handle it. So again, it goes back to her. So you kind of feel I felt a little bad for her in that moment because I get where he's coming from, but also when you really just look at the grand scheme of things, Melanie really hasn't just done that much. Obviously, in the beginning, they didn't have great communication because she wasn't prepared for him to pull Kada. Okay, she had a moment, she got it back together. So he has obviously has now had two chats with Soul. So when you look into the grand and she hasn't crashed out either time. Like she said, she has to let him explore because that's what they talked about. So I think once the conversation was had and it was made clear, okay, this is how we're moving forward, then each has to understand who how they're going to be moving. And he just doesn't seem like again, he doesn't seem to be being really sincere. So I kind of felt bad for her a little bit in that moment because she was expressing why she feels the way that she does. And then he was in there like talking about butterflies and all of this type of craziness. Yeah, it was a lot. Um, so you have them, they come down for the evening and they're all sitting around the table. You know, some people are splitting off on have chats. You got Anaya. Um, no, excuse me. Roll it back. I jumped ahead of myself. You have Anaya and KC talking. And she pretty much tells him everything that Sincere told her. I thought that was crazy work. I'm like, I thought you were him. We're like, cool. So why would you go? And then it was the way she, again, unless we didn't see that that's what he said. I felt like when he was talking to her, he just told her that um his ex looked like that. Because I don't think he ever said that she was his type. He said that I think he was just basically saying like she looked good, you know. I know in his confessional, I think he said, you know, he likes her pixie cut, whatever. I don't know, but it was just crazy to me that since he shared some information with you, and then he asked you not to say anything to Casey, and you immediately once you pulled him, you immediately told him what was said. I was like, oh, I didn't like that. Mm. Like that's kind of messy. So I don't know, but she was still emotional, and I just need Anaya to get it together. Like you didn't even. I mean, I'm glad that because I do think her and Casey look good together, but you didn't even pick him at first. You didn't even pick him. Y'all were like together by default. So and it's been a week. So you're together by default. You didn't pick the boy. He was standing at the door by himself. Nobody picked him. And then Sincere didn't want you, he wanted Melanie. So I just think everybody needs to take a breath, breathe a little bit, breathe. Like, yeah, just take some deep breaths, exhale. Like, again, it's week one. It's week one. I'm going to continue to say that it's week one. So, so they are, excuse me, They, of course, get dressed, do all the things, come down. Um, they were sitting around the table, like I said. Now people are, breaking off, having their chats and everything. Then you got Anaya, who is running her mouth again. I said, baby, no wonder. I forget what the exact thing was, the quote was in the challenge, but baby, you is really running your mouth. I said, I see why. They say what they say about Anaya because she is telling B that Gabe was over there talking to Soul. And she was wondering had he told her. Well, if he didn't, you just did. Can you let these people tell their business? Anaya, baby, I'm just gonna need you to let the people tell their own business. I don't think they need your help. I don't think they need your help. The people I think can figure out how to tell their business themselves. I need for you to figure out why you over here crying on after a week. I mean, tears falling. I just need you to figure that out. So now we have Soul pulls Sincere for another chat. I said, baby, this finna be some. Mm-hmm. Um, like I said, he's talking about earlier part of the morning. We was talking about the girls making him feel butterflies. Something about he don't believe in love at first sight. I said, what is happening? Like, what is happening right now? Sincere. Like, I'm gonna need you not to be trying to chastise Mel and you over here saying all this crazy stuff. If this is how you feel, you should talk to her and tell her that like you're seriously exploring. Not just like, oh, I'm gonna have some chats, da da da. No, you are seriously exploring to like find your next person. Because that's exactly what it seems like you're doing. So they're all sitting around the table when Mel says that she wants to talk to Sincere, so she walks away. So now they're all like basically saying that they're toxic, except for Anaya. So they're saying that they don't think it would work on the outside world. I'm just wondering, are we not seeing something? Because I just don't feel like she has done anything so much more different than what these other people have definitely shown tonight. You got Zach falling apart. You got Anaya crying. Like the man and and their partners only did stuff in a challenge. What set her off is he pulled Kata without even communicating with her. So you got Zach crashing out because Katie kissed in a challenge and put her legs around somebody. You got Anaya crashing out and crying because Casey said the girl was cute and he had a lot of red paint on him. So she's upset. But we're gonna say that Melanie and Sincere are toxic. I mean, I just feel like everybody is just a little wonky right now. So, um, well, in the midst of her walking away, I wonder if anybody's, well, maybe Anaya will, because Anaya like to tell everybody's business. So maybe she'll be the one that tell that them people had said that about them. Because she might tell Sincere, I don't know, because Anaya talk a lot. So we got Mel going to find Sincere. Well, while Sincere over in the speakeasy, I think that's what it said. Um, with Soul, and they kissing again. I said, Lord, is she gonna walk in? I said, is she gonna walk in on them kissing? Lord, is she gonna walk in on them kissing? Well, they wrapped it up as soon as I'm thinking that she must have knocked on the door because Soul was getting up real quick, like she knew someone was at the door. So I'm thinking she maybe knocked on the door and then opened it. Um, excuse me, is what I'm thinking happened. So she says, perfect timing because Soul is heading out the room. So now they go to talk. So she, Mel just wants to sit down and let him know that how she really feels and that she really does like him. She does see something. She would love to pursue something outside of the villa, even though, again, it's week one. So I'm just trying to figure out how we know where we're going to be in 3-4 weeks. And we already talking about week one and what we going to do outside of the villa. And that's 5-6 weeks away. But that's just where everybody's mind's at for some reason. Everybody's mind is already at the end. Um, so again, she's just telling him that she really does like him and all of these things. Uh, so she does ask him, uh, because when he was then back to him and Soul real quick, when him and Soul were in the room, Soul asked him, told him that she would leave it up to him to tell Melanie about the kiss. And he said that, he hadn't told anybody, but basically, if she asked, he would tell the truth. So basically, if she never asked, he wasn't telling. So that's a little snake. I don't know, Sincere. I was feeling bad for you. I was feeling bad for you. Now I'm not sure so much I'm feeling bad for you. Because you on some snake stuff. You're not even being honest with this girl. But anyways, so Melanie asked, did y'all kiss in there? Not realizing that was the third kiss and probably the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Because they had already kissed earlier in the day. So to me, it seemed like, cause she asked him like as he was talking. So it seemed like to me like maybe he wasn't going to answer. And then he stopped and he said, yeah. And I felt like, again, in that moment, just tell her the truth. If you are really saying that you want to be here to be for yourself, that you always put other people's feelings above yours, and basically now that's not what you want to do, you should tell her that to allow her to go and see if she can find her another connection and you can pursue what you want to pursue with Soul. But for you to sit there and feed her like, oh, I'm not trying to just throw what we have away and da da da, but you're here again. It was just, I didn't like it. It just felt very slimy. I just didn't like it. So, but I gave Melanie grace. I'm gonna give you a teeny bit of grace, Mr. Sincere. Um, because I do feel like I just hope my girl Melanie can keep it together on Thursday because I do fear that they are going to. I didn't get to vote and I'm pissed because I don't know what was happening with the vote thing, but it wasn't working. So I didn't get to vote. But I do feel like the people gonna put Soul with Sincere. And I just hope that she is able to maintain her composure and just focus on you, girl. Focus on you and finding your connection. So that was pretty much the episode. Um, she gets up after she did ask who asked for the kiss and if he's going off of the earlier kiss, she asked for the kiss, but he was definitely more than willing. And then the one that we saw later in the episode, it just looked like they were just looking at each other and was like, okay, let's kiss. So she sat there a few more minutes. So again, she didn't go off. She told him basically you got to do what's best for you. I said, I know that's right, girl. Even if you feeling some type of way, don't show him. Don't show him. You can look side face, but don't let no tear drop. Don't do none of that. So she got up. She told him, you got to do what's best for you, blah, blah, blah. And then she walked away. Now, she looked like she was just having a moment as she was hitting them steps. She was having a moment while she was in them steps. And that's where we left off. So, again, I'm not really sure how the voting is going to go. I think that if I had to guess, I think they're going to put Soul with Sincere. I think they're going to put um what's her name? Jen. Hell, I forgot about Jen. I think they're gonna put Jen with Gabriel, and then I think they're going to put Caleb with Kenzie. So that's gonna leave Corbin, Melanie, and B vulnerable. So we'll see. I don't know if I don't think they'll do. I don't know though, because that's still how many couples is that? Because you'll have three single people. Right now you have six couples. So you have nine people in there. So you'll still have six couples because you'll have three people. So I really think it's since we just lost a guy, I think it'll be a girl this time. But I wonder if they're going to allow them to be single for like a day or so, or are they going to be automatically dropped on Thursday? I don't know. We'll see. But those are my guesses of what the people probably going to do. And those are going to be the people that are going to be vulnerable. So we'll see. But that's it. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Y'all have a good one.